Hi there YouTube, XtremeTrainz here. So in front of me you can see a box which I've actually teased on my channel for quite some time now, and finally I've got the chance to review it. So this is the Thomas re-release of the Thomas & Friends Big Loader Soda Island Delivery Set, released in 2018. What are we waiting for? Let's take a look at this set. So as you would expect from a release in the modern Thomas & Friends era, we've got quite a few things which are new and different about this. Firstly, obviously, you've got the new Thomas & Friends branding on the side here. Over 8 feet of track. We'll talk about whether or not that's a useful thing in a moment. You've got the CGI Thomas, all the details on the bottom. Tommy, you can see we've got Thomas in here, who is available to be looked at. You can see if we come around to the side, we've got change or guide Thomas by changing direction. Woo! In lots of different languages. They obviously only made one box for this one. And then you can see here, you've got the picture on the back of the actual set. Some kids having a really good time, and that set is definitely not CGI inserted. Oh wait, yes it is. That's some real bad Photoshop there. Like, let's just take a look at that for a second. Like, look at how different and sharp the set is versus the background. Like, yeah, Mattel, what are you doing? You can see transporting cargo is lots of fun. You can see you get a little summary here of all the different things that you do. You come around the side, we get a bit of a detail of the 3-in-1 transforming vehicle feature, which is a bit interesting and different. If it comes to the bottom of the box, there is more things, batteries. Yep, there we go. That's all that boring stuff there. So what are you waiting for? Let's get him open. Just quickly, I want to show you the way this set is packaged. Similar to the original Big Loader, you can see everything is very meticulously put into place, which I kind of appreciate. You get the instruction manual of how to put it together, and you get the all-important stickers, which you can see are updated for the new age. They're a bit brighter and a bit more exciting. So there you go, Thomas Big Loader. Let's put it together. Alright everyone, so I've set up the set and put all the stickers on. I actually can't remember if I had to put stickers on the original. If you are curious, I will link down to the review I did of the original set, which was actually one of the first videos I ever posted on YouTube. So the quality is incredibly questionable, but that's one of the reasons why I have a great attachment to this set, and it's quite special to me, is because not only was it one of the first things I bought on eBay, it was also one of the first things that I got when I got back into Tom's collecting, and also it was one of the first videos, or it was the very first video I posted on YouTube, was about the Big Loader set. So I'll put the link to that video and you can see what I've said about that, 10 years ago there. Spoiler alert, I probably sound quite different as well. What is interesting though is how many color swaps they've done, and I don't need to have the old set out to do that. So you can see that while Thomas, Terrence, and Percy are the same, all the other pieces have swapped colors. You can see things that were red are now green, things that are green are now orange. I'll post a photo of the old set. So you can see even the track is a lot lighter, which I think is quite interesting. And it's something to me which is quite of it. I don't know why they made the track lighter, because it looks less like train track when it's that kind of gray. I think it looked more like train track before, but I guess maybe they were trying to go for silver rails. I don't know. In terms of design-wise, everything is, as far as I can tell, pretty much the same. There aren't any physical changes to the set. However, what's interesting is this has actually changed. So if we can get the... Come on, camera. Yeah, there we go. You can see that this part... Well, interesting that, yes, that's a good thing to note. But this has now like a sloped battery cover, which is like this, when previously it was like a hexagon shape rather than this, like, half a triangle. Excuse me, can you just focus on here for a second? Thanks. Yeah, so I think that is kind of interesting, and it's something that's a bit different that they've done. And I don't know, I would love to know why they changed that. Maybe just uses less plastic. I don't know. Maybe they've moved the battery compartment around slightly. But otherwise, this is all the same. If you're not familiar with these sets, this is the toy. Like, if this part breaks, see you later. Good night, sister. This is the end of the toy. And the way it pretty much works is you flip these pins down, which align with those slots in the rails. And then what happens, the magic of this toy is there's this switch underneath here, which when it gets hit by the little bits of plastic on the track, will change the direction of this motor. And you can see there's also this little white gear here, which keys into some of the mechanical functions of this set in order to, for example, you know, slow the engines down by gearing in so that they spin a lot slower. Interestingly, this one does freewheel. I don't remember if the old ones did, but, you know, that's a cool, fun play feature. See, if this set can freewheel, why the heck can't Trackmaster 2 freewheel? But anyway, I put new batteries in it. You can see, I'll demonstrate this feature right now. If we switch this switch, you can see that the, very briefly, because it's spinning quite quickly, the wheels do change direction. And that is essentially how this set functions. So, speaking of functions, let's have a go. Alright, so we can turn Thomas on, and you can see we've got, Thomas, the little battery thing. You can see we've got an arrow here, and you have to start it from this way. Now, this is the first time I've run this, so let's see what happens. Oh, how good is that sound? There we go, there's a transforming feature. As you can see, Thomas is doing a little 3-point turn there. That is quicker than I remember it being. Uh-oh. Well, that was interesting. The beauties of live camera. I have no idea what happened then, but as you can see, Thomas had a bit of a time and didn't quite like what was going on there. He was doing some weird stuff over there, which he wasn't supposed to. So, interesting. But let's give this another crack and see what happens. This is the beauty of this toy was that it was, you know, very reliant on that core piece, and if that doesn't work, you really don't have a toy. So, Percy, yep, Percy goes alright. He's very happy delivering his little bits of coal, those whole, like, you know, 30 centimeters gets delivered down that ramp. Now let's bring the camera around here so we can see what happens here. Didn't get all of them, but that's pretty classic. So you can see these little nubs on the track here. They're what activate the motor, so it knows where to go. Let's see. Oh, interesting. Okay, so that was weird, because I didn't press anything. As you have maybe recognized, there's these little buttons here, which you can press, which allow you to make the engine redo whatever they just did. So, for example, in this scenario, you can press this button, and that reactivates the switch, so that TrainzXtreme does the thing again. I just also noticed Percy didn't pick up any balls, so this is really wild. Whoop. You are seeing this all live. I have not touched anything. This is straight out of the box config. So if we get a bit closer now to Percy, you can kind of see what's happening here. There we go. So what we're going to do is I'm going to press Thomas down and make Percy go again. It seems that this new one is a bit more temperamental than the old one. And I don't know why. So we can make Percy go again, for example, by pressing this, right? And now Percy will go back. And hopefully actually picks himself up, yep. So now Terrence has got a bit more work to do. Sometimes this jams him up, but let's see. We're putting this toy through its paces. It's a review, it's not a demonstration video, you know? The toy doesn't have to work. If it doesn't work in real life, it's not going to make it work in this review. There we go. Oh, he did get them all. Look at him go. Thomas is pretty full there, but that's alright. Oh, there we go, now we're working again. So, what you can see, oh, no, there you go, I shouldn't have said anything. We're gone now. Percy just, I don't know whether it's the track, or whether this new switch is extra sensitive, or they've changed the tolerances on the plastic. Who knows, but for whatever reason, it seems that this set is quite prone to tripping up all by itself. What you can see is that it's quite rough. You know, like the wear and tear on that engine unit is quite intense. It's going very quickly, it's changing from gears to not gears, it's stopping and starting, it's changing direction. Yeah, there's just a lot of wear and tear that happens to this set, and I think that is part of it, you know? The tolerances have to be exactly right, otherwise the set really doesn't function. Also, it's interesting in this set they left it as Terrence, given there are quite a few other more suitable, you know, vehicles, like for example Jack. that they could have made do this now they're introduced into the series that weren't in the series when this was first produced in the early 90s. So I don't know why. Yeah, there you go. See, Thomas just did it again. I don't know why they've left it as Terrence, given that he's really not a big feature. Oh, uh-oh. Oh, no. Oh, yeah, that we are. Good night, sister. So you can see here that really it is all the little motor unit. If we just take that off, you can see exactly what's going down right now. Quite incredible engineering, if you ask me, but also, yeah, it just goes to show. See, again, I'll take Terrence off, just to measure. You can just see here exactly how this is really a one-trick pony kind of toy. Oh, see, there you go. It's that's not supposed to happen. There we go. So something interesting is going on there, and I don't know what it is. And that pulse infusion and delay. So as you can see, this is a pretty wild toy. There's a lot. It's very much the same thing over and over again, and there's really only 4 points you can interact. 1, 2, that one at the back there you can see, and this one here. So there's not a lot of interaction from kids. I know I loved it both as a kid. I used to see, you know, other friends have it or at the toy store, and I really, really wanted it, which is why it's one of my, you know, Thomas and Friends holy grails to get it eventually. It's what kickstarted my Thomas collection, as I already said. And, you know, I loved it as a kid. Even as an adult, when I bought this, rebought this as a young, a teenager kind of thing, when I started on YouTube, I loved it. I could sit here and, like, drink a cup of tea and just watch it for hours. It's, to me, even though it's quite loud, quite soothing in the fact that it's like kind of this like monotonous kind of sound. So I think it's quite good. If you have kids that like to sit and watch, I think it's really good. There's always stuff going on. You can fiddle with things. As we've seen right now from what that video just showed, even more so than I think with the old one, it's quite random. Things go wrong. So I think this is actually kind of, sometimes it's a play feature. I think potentially it's a good play feature in this sense, because it actually means, you know, kids have to get involved. They have to do things. They have to fix it up when it breaks, blah, blah, blah. But equally, I can see it also might make some other kids, frustrated at that fact. So I think it's a bit of your mileage may vary. What I do want to talk about real quickly is the actual engines, because I realize I haven't done that yet, in hand appraisal. The reason is it's because it's a bit weird, because as you can see, they're kind of these hollow little shells. But if we just come in here, take a quick look, you can see the faces and the designs of these is very similar. I think this is a kind of a wacky Thomas face. But it's fine. Obviously, the design is a bit weird because he's got a really big coal bunker. Just on first impression, this piece looks like it's been redesigned. It looks a bit different angled. But again, my memory could just be failing me. All the stickers on the engines come pre-applied as well. As do the Percy, Thomas, and Terrence stickers on the back there, which you can see if I get the camera to focus there. The Terrence sticker, that one is pre-applied as well, which I think is really interesting. Everything else you have to do yourself. Put Thomas back. We'll get Percy up here so we can take a look at him. He, again, I think Percy's face is a little bit better than Thomas's, but still, he has a really weird nose. Like, it's really quite pointy. But again, I think his shape is a bit more realistic. I really love this mechanism. It just really interests me. I just love that bucket kind of design, you know, how it's like a integrated in something. It's really nice design, and I don't know if that's me just being sentimental or it actually is, but something about this design has always got me going. Yep, so there's that. That's what the Percy looks like. And then if we get the Terrence, again, these are very, very the same. I think they may have made the colors a bit more saturated, but that may also have just been that my plastic on mine one had faded because it was quite old. So you can see here, obviously Terrence doesn't look very show accurate, which you already know. He's got this big bucket arm. And if the reason you're wondering why this is a history lesson. A lot of my viewers probably know this. Or you might not because you haven't been watching my old channel. This was based on a Tomy set, which was construction themed. So they were all diggers and dump trucks. And this piece is the same. They didn't remold this piece for this set. It was originally a dump truck or like a digger thing, which is why it looks so weird when attached to what they've attempted to make into a Terrence body. You can see they've got Terrence's face here. Like this, from here, it's Terrence. Quite clearly, if you cut that front bit off. You know, there's a little seat for the driver man, that stuff on the side, but this whole front section is purely to do this play feature. which I think works quite well, but obviously it's just not very realistic. And again, it's why I'm not sure why, like, they could have replaced this with a character like Jack. And really, you wouldn't have to change very much. You'd just change the face, and you would probably, I would put a big piece of plastic in here as a cab, put a bit of a blue sticker on each side for windows, and I think that would have been far more believable. Make it red, and it could have been Jack. So it's interesting that they chose to stick with Terrence. I guess they really didn't want to do any remolding of this set. So yeah, there is that. We can put that back there, and that's that there. So overall, what do I think about this set? Look, nostalgia aside, I think it's a decent play set for kids who are a bit younger, who just want to watch things. If your kids want to play, it's a lot harder to play unless you're a certain type of child who can get into that. So I think, you know, on that metric, it's a bit harder to justify it. Stuff that says on the box, like 8 feet of track, like, yes, but there's literally no other configuration in this set. There's no customization available. You can't rebuild it. You can't even do things like swap Thomas and Percy over. The set just breaks, you know? Everything has to be exactly right. So you really only get one play out of this, and if that play is the kind of play your kid's gonna love, then you're sweet. You're set. You can just put this on, put a fresh battery in, off you go, enjoy your movie, like, you know, and kids can just sit here and watch it for hours. But if they're not like that, they're not going to like this set. And I think that's the problem with this set. I think, especially, unfortunately, in the modern age, where where kids have had parents and the society give them mobile phones and computers and stuff, which are constantly changing. There's new stuff all the time. It's really fresh, it's really interactive, it's really, you know, dynamic. This kind of toy, it just isn't what kids want. And I think that's fair enough given the context that they've grown up in. But it just means there isn't a big market for this toy. And I was kind of thinking if this is successful, potentially they'll re-release the other sets. But I don't think this set was very successful. Nearly every single store I saw selling it, it sat on shelves. It didn't sell. It just sat there and sat there and sat there. I bought this for $29, which I think is pretty reasonable. I think $30 for this set is actually quite good. But its original retail price was 49 to 59 Australian dollars, which I think was, even if the plastic maybe is worth that much, it definitely doesn't give you that much play value. You know, it's just like, there's just not enough you can do with it for $60. And I don't think it's going to entertain kids for long enough to justify that. Which is why I didn't buy it until I saw it at pretty much, you know, nearly half price. So that's why I bought this set to review. And I'm glad I did. It is a really cool set. I'm glad to have another one. I do still have my old one. I actually brought it up to feature in this review, but I was like, nope, there's enough going on in this review. We don't need to make it more complicated. But yeah, send out in the comments below. Let me know. Did you have this set as a kid? Would you like to have this set if you're one of my newer viewers? You know, and you weren't born, maybe, you know, plenty of my viewers could not have been born when this original set came out in the early 90s. So let me know if that's something you think you would like as a kid or would have liked as a kid, or maybe, you know, your siblings who are still kids might like. I'd be really curious to know. And also, if you saw this, what do you think about the price tag? I personally think that the old color scheme was a bit better, but this new color scheme is just really bright. So I think that's like eye-catching and fun. Yeah, otherwise that's all for this quite long review. I hope you enjoyed it. It's definitely one I've been meaning to do for a long time, and it's a toy set that's close to my heart. So yeah, do those cool things on YouTube, like, subscribe, etc, etc. I'll see you next time. That's all I've got time for. This is XtremeTrainz. Woo! Hi everyone, this is a little add-on to the end of this video. I've been running this now for about an hour and a half since I filmed that review, just while I've been doing other things and enjoying, you know, watching the spectacle that is this set. And it seems to have been performing much better. Like, I've had a couple of little issues where these little balls have like fallen out or gotten caught, but none of that weird stuff that happened in my review. So I don't know if that was just like it warming up or getting the packaging rust off, I'm not sure, but I just wanted to clarify that this does seem to run as reliably as the old one does after about an hour of using it. Alright, cool, thanks for watching guys, bye!